Hey, it is Friday, May 16th, 2025, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps, where success never sleeps. I don't think that's correct, but we'll play with it anyways. Where we as a collective of martial arts school owners, small businesses, we're just trying to figure out this thing called life, right? We want to be successful. We want financial freedom. We want to retire gracefully, right? Save for that, own homes, take care of our kids, college, all those wonderful things. And in many cases, people create a job for themselves and they're a terrible boss. Well, I'm here as living proof it doesn't have to be that way. And I do understand it requires a certain skill set, a certain mindset, um, a certain plan of execution to achieve those goals. So, my version of success may not be yours, but hopefully, some of these practices will inspire you to achieve your version of success. Cool. So, you come aboard, say hello, James Walker. It's an amazing day at Resilient Martial Arts. Wishing everybody the same. Bob Poole, Goals Martial Arts. As you come aboard, say hello. I found out a couple of days ago a friend who owns a school has been watching me for months and years and doesn't say hello. Like, that's kind of strange, buddy. Right? He goes, well, dude, I can just text you and talk to you. I said, yeah, but when you're on the show, it's nice to know that you're here, right? I like to know who I'm hanging out with other than just talking into the Ethernet here. So let's begin by thanking our sponsors, please. We have who, Market Muscles, Tucson, My Studio, Kids of Life Skills, LC Accounting, Kin Creative. You know, all these companies I work with passionately. All these companies have a huge impact upon what I do. And I will say personally, I'll vouch for them, right? As the Italians would say, I'll vouch for everybody that you see sitting here below on the screen. So if you're looking for a great martial arts supply vendor, you definitely want to go to TSA. I believe the best in websites in our industry is Market Muscles, CRM would be my studio. And again, Kids of Life Skills, we're now subscription based, only $99 a month, giving you access to all these types of support materials that will best position you as an investment for parents for their children because of the life skills education component. LC Accounting, my sister keeps me tight and right, man. If your books aren't right and your spending's not right and things aren't right, it could lead to audits. It could lead to overspending. It could lead to miscalculation. So having a good bookkeeper, I think, is really powerful. But we often, just think we're going to lean into QuickBooks and take it to H&R Block. Don't do that to yourself. Stop it. That's one area you don't want to mess around with. Somebody posted something at a group the other day, and the first thing I said is, I am not a lawyer. This is not my wheelhouse. This is not within my scope. I will highly recommend you go talk to a lawyer. And other people were spewing about their opinions, and I just had to raise my hand and go, that's not smart. Your opinion could get them into a huge litigation. Don't do that. If it's not within your wheelhouse, get outside support. And I do think LC Accounting would be one of those things, as is Kin Creative, right? If you need good digital media, I work with this family, these boys, and everybody firsthand. I'm part of their company, and they're good people. They do good work, and we're getting amazing results. Cool? All right. So what do we got coming up, Marco? It's Time Life Freedom. It's Time Life Freedom. It's a 4-day excursion, a retreat, a pilgrimage. People come from all over the world. We only work with 20 school owners for 4 days. You could come for 1 or 2 days, and that's open to more people. But it's really the 4-day that makes it something truly, truly, truly special, where we work on every aspect of your business and your personal self to help you cultivate your version of success. People that have attended the event have always gotten amazing results, or at least walked away with a network of people that they can definitely nurture friendships and relationships with long term. And then, of course, our mentoring program, It's Time Group Mentoring. It's an offshoot of my wisdom program, and it was just a lot for me to handle, but I've enlisted people I love and trust that share the same vision. Across the board, we are still small business owners, right? Unless you're Apple or Nike, you are a small business owner. And it takes a certain skill set, a certain mindset. And we're in the trenches like you are every day. So I believe the learning we offer you, the advice we offer you, the systems, the processes are equal to none, because they're proven every day. We're on the mat every day. We work this stuff every day, right? So I think that's real important. So take a look at the It's Time group mentoring. So what's going on in the world, folks? A lot of stuff. We're coming into summer. And as we come into summer, of course, people are going, wow, man, summertime. A lot of people are like battening down the hatches and already looking forward to August. I say, nay, nay. I say it's a very unique time. Much like the stock market, when it's down is when you should be buying, right? That's when you buy. And it's the same thing here. If everyone's going to tell me summertime sucks, then I want to look at opportunities, right? Camp is one of them. Someone said, I don't like to do camps. I'm not a daycare. Great. How about you offer up your school as a field trip stop? What would that be like to have a group of campers come from a camp, come in and do a confidence building workshop with you for a couple hours on and during the weekday, right? Go a step further, be able to hand them some type of brochure with a call to action, and that's all you ask in return. But I don't want all those kids in my school. It's going to make it messy. Great. Go to them. Offer your instructional service free of charge and go to these different day camps and you present a confidence building workshop. All I want is return is they take this handout home. You with me? So I think there's so many ways to do that. And if you don't want to do camps, that's okay. Another one is a 3-month special. $297, 3 months in a uniform, right? It's pretty much $99 a month. There's another way to make money during the summer, right? They may not stay. There might be sticker shock at the end of 3 months to pay you premium. But again, it creates revenue where there is no revenue and it fills up classes. And who knows? We've had people stay. There's another one, right? I think community stuff, movies in the park. Our cotton candy machine will be there. Absolutely. Little League teams, we sponsor them, especially during the summer. I still want eyes on my brand, right? They call it The Boys of Summer. That song by Don Henley. Summertime is huge, huge for Little League in our communities. And I'm sure they are in your communities as well. So to being able to sponsor teams, getting your name on a banner, being present, right? Opening day of Little League, we were giving away bottled water. I sang the national anthem. Again, successful people are just willing to do what unsuccessful people are not, right? So you find a way. So if you think about it right now, put in the comments 3 things you could do in your community right now, this summer, that you haven't done before. Right now, what you've done in the past, 3 things more you could do. Right? I did that post this morning about community billboards, bulletin boards. We have them in our business. Most supermarkets have them. Jamba Juice has them. Laundromat has them. There's another way to advertise, right? Costs you nothing but time, some, thumbtacks and a good flyer with a QR code. There's another way, right? I mean, the band, it goes on and on. But again, people often look at me and say, well, that's time consuming. Owning a business is very time consuming. And it's something I recommend. If you're not getting the results you want, try something different. And if you're not getting results you want, try something different until you find a winning combination. But like any advertising, you will face fatigue. And when that gets fatigue, then you try another way. Maybe you're going to do door hangers this summer. Those don't cost anything other than printing. A lot of foot traffic. You got to walk around, but that's legal. You can put stuff on doors, right? There you go. And one I'm working on this summer, we're redoing all our windows, right? That's going to be a big project, but it needs to be done. There'll be QR codes on everything we post. We're doing a 4th of July parade with a bubble machine and cotton candy. Good for you. Good for you. Maybe, my wife was against this when we were in a parade, but why not take a little call to action card and attach it to fruit snacks, right? Or do like they do at the sporting events. Have a t-shirt with your goals martial arts and a QR code on it, and you shoot it to one of those air guns. Or just throw them out to the crowd. Look at me. Don't spend money on that, Bob. Just throw them out to the crowd while you're walking through, right? I think that'd be a great one. My wife said, nah, that's too salesy. So, because I wanted to do fruit snacks attached to staple it to a little rack card, right? And hand it out to kids while we're walking down the parade route. I think that's underutilized. I really do. But how can you do that creatively? I don't know. I kind of like the t-shirt thing rolled up with a rubber band on it. Maybe you can roll up a t-shirt, wrap it with a, call to action type of rack card and put a rubber band and throw some of those out, right? Again, what more can I do? 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 So that's a great lead in, Bob. We're talking about the new Karate Kid movie, right? It's coming out on May 30th. Do I think it's too late to get involved in it? No way. I think it's going to be an all summer thing. It's one of, it's starting the summer movie, how the summer movie things, it's a big time. Movies are really big during the summer, especially if you live somewhere hot. People want to sit in a movie theater. It's a good day. It's a good day. So this was all inspired. One of our kin clients has the opportunity to do a kids karate, legends, right? Is it no Karate Kid, Kids Karate, Karate Kid Legends booth in a food court. Next to him will be somebody who has a virtual dojo. And in this virtual dojo, they're going to shoot content for social media to help promote the movie, right? I get it. Makes a lot of sense to me. So then he asked me, what can I do? I said, well, let me do a little homework. So me and ChatGPT had a deep conversation about, how people search. And lo and behold, the number one key search word is MMA, right? I said, MMA? Why would a mom be looking at MMA? Next one was jujitsu, okay? Both correlating with the UFC, mixed martial arts. I didn't ask ChatGPT the right question, and that was, what do moms with a child between the ages of 4 and 11 look for when searching for martial arts classes? Guess what was number one? Put it in the comments. What was number one? Anybody? Well, karate. Karate. To this day, karate is the most searched word when a mom is looking for martial arts classes for her kid. What a trip, right? But it's not. It's not. So, what did I automatically do? I made sure we already call it youth karate, but I looked for key places on my website I could put in the word karate. One martial arts teaches Kenpo karate, right? I wrote a blog, karate versus other martial arts. There's many places to put it because we do know that it's interchangeable, right? No, that's not confidence, Bob. It is karate. It is karate, right? It is karate. So again, someone says, why teach BJJ? I said, no problem. They go, what do you mean, no problem? Well, real simple. I could put in, unlike karate, BJJ doesn't have striking. So it's much safer, blah, 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 blah. I'd work really good on a youth karate page, right? I mean, on a youth martial arts page all day, every day, right? Do a blog, BJJ versus karate. Boom, right? Put it on your adult page. You could be bold. Unlike karate, BJJ has been proven to be one of the most effective forms of self-defense. Sure. Or just like karate, BJJ has been proven to be one of the most effective forms of self-defense. See where I'm going with that? The key search words can't be denied. Now, I know we don't want to be generic and we don't want to be like everybody else, but the bottom line is if I'm not Papa John's or Domino or Little Caesar and I was opening up a pizza parlor, would I be willing to put pizza really big on the front of my building? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the same thing here. It's the same thing here. So that's my tip of the day. Karate is the most key searched words for moms with kids. So make sure it's everywhere in your brochures, in your website, in your social media posts, any way you can do that. Just like when I said to Stephen Reinstein at Market Muscles, I want to beef up my camp. I don't, but when I search for camp, it doesn't even tie into one martial arts. He goes, write a blog and use the word day camp a lot. I said, oh, makes sense to me. So if you look, I have a blog about summer day camp at my website now. See? So again, understanding the way it behaves and works is a big part. Now, so he said, what should I do? I said, well, if if the actual movie company, I don't know who it is, Warner Brothers, MGM, or whoever, if they're the ones doing this virtual dojo inside the food court, then I would put students in that virtual dojo in the background of anybody who's shooting social media content. Make sure they're wearing a t-shirt with your logo really big on it. He goes, wow, I never thought of that. Yeah, because if the point is they want you to create content to put it your social media platforms and then they're putting this cool virtual dojo behind people to shoot on, why not throw your kids in there and be part of their class? I think it's cool, right? I think it's cool. So My challenge with it is there's no movie theater anywhere in sight. It doesn't tie into actual premiere of the movie or people watching the movie because at least if I'm going to the movie theater to watch Karate Kid, I like martial arts, I like Karate Kid, there's a direct correlation there. The fact that he's going to be in the food court for a couple of days and it's just for, this virtual dojo to people to shoot social media stuff to post it, it's good. I like the idea, but how can I integrate my kids into it? Right? Maybe I get the traditional Karate Kid headband with my logo and a QR code on it, which I could get done really cheap. Right? And every kid who comes into my booth, I'm going to give them one of these. Okay. Right? Again, how do I leverage that? Would I do a Karate Kid special? You know it for sure. For sure, I would do some kind of special, 1 month in a uniform, call it the Karate Kid Legends special. You can do that without trademark infringement, or even, Karate Kid or Kids Karate. It's a play on words. I don't have to say Karate Kids. That's not, trademarked that way. I could say, here's our Karate Kid special. That's fine. Do that all day long without copyright infringement. And you can do that. You can do that. I think that's a great summer special. Can you do a Karate Kid Buddy Day? For sure. For sure. But I want to do things like maybe mimic. Remember how he did in the first Karate Kid movie where he stood like this on one leg? That is infamous. Every non martial artist will come up to me and go, "Hey, are you just like the Karate Kid?" Right? And they stand on one leg. Tell me you haven't had some, I'm not going to say, I'll say it's some idiot come up to you and stand on one leg. Who's ever had that done? Anybody? We all have. Guess what? That's one of the games that we will use at that buddy day. It would be a challenge I would have in my booth in this food court. Whoever can stand on one leg longest, like the Karate Kid, like the Karate Kid, play on words, tie into the movie, right? You earn a balance badge. Or I'm going to give you this really cool headband, this Karate Kid headband with my QR code and my school name on it. There you go. See, so the thing is, again, looking at that opportunity and asking, how can I maximize that potential without being cheesy and also promoting the culture and the why of my personal brand, right? My school itself, right? The Karate Kid is really resilient. See how he, stood up to the bad guys and how movie after movie after movie, they overcome obstacles. They're resilient. So here's the resiliency here we're going to have, right? Whatever it is, we're going to have who could do the most push-ups, who could do the most kicks, who could do the most, right? Whatever the case may be. If you tie in your brand of resilient to, something that ties to the movie. Goals is easy, Bob. I can do that all day long, right? The Karate Kid's goal was to win the championship. You can win this championship too if you could do 100 punches in 30 seconds. And if you do 100 punches in 30 seconds, here's a headband. On and on, on and on. I think the creativity speaks for itself because it is a martial arts movie. Now, I think what everybody's very fixated on, because it is bringing attention to the martial arts, in particular kids martial arts, is what is my ROI? I think you should table that, right? Table the ROI thing right away. I had a friend back in the day, really excited, called me up, said, "Hey man, new Ninja Turtle movies is coming out. I'm going to be in the lobby of the movie theater and I get to have a booth. Should I do the demo team? What should I do?" I said, "Well, I'm big on humanism. Humanism's a big part of my thinking." So I played it out. Grab my kid, right? I get to the mall, park my car, walk in. Where's my mind at as a parent? Think about it. And this is super important, right? Where is my mind as a parent? Well, most likely, it's kind of like the airport. I like getting to the airport early. I do, right? I don't like to be rushed. It stresses me out. Same thing here. When I go to a movie or anywhere, I live and die by if I'm on time, I'm late. And if I'm early, I'm on time. Cool. So most parents, I would believe, want to get into the movie theater, have the kid go to the bathroom, get the popcorn, whatever they're getting, and sit down. Unfortunately, what that would lead me to believe is they are not there. They are not there to sign up for martial arts classes. And if you're standing there with a clipboard and people are kicking and stuff, I'm going to walk right by you because I don't know how much time you're going to make me spend in this damn booth with you. I need to get kids go to the bathroom, get my popcorn, sit down. But on the way out, oh, stay with me now. On the way out, that kid's all pumped up. Just watch Karate Kid Legend. He's just like, ah. Right? We used to watch movies as a kid, 3 for $1. By the second martial arts movie at the Grand Theater, we're bouncing through the aisles, kicking each other. All the sugar from the soda didn't help. But coming out is a different thing. So let's play with that for a moment, right? They're coming out of the movie theater. The sky's the limit. Did you enjoy the movie? Come on into the booth. You can break a board like the Karate Kid. Did you love the movie? Hey, you want to get a headband just like him? All you got to do is 10 jump kicks, right? And the band played on. So I think when they come out of the movie theater is what I would be more focused on than trying strategically to interact with them on their way in. Cool? And again, I think the sky's the limit. So a booth anywhere is a good idea as long as you're not freaked out by the ROI, right? I would rather give them a QR code on a headband than to say, hey, if you want to break this board, you have to scan this QR code and give me your name and email. That's yucky. That's really yucky, right? Again, relationships, humanism. Would I sit there, think back in the day, and go to a girl, I'll dance with you, but in order to dance with me, you got to give me your phone number first, right? It's just weird. Just weird. So it's the same thing here. Humanism. I'll empower you. Here's a QR code if you really dig it, right? Different day. Different day. Okay. And that's my feeling about that. So we've talked about the booth, but the booth has got to be designed to keep people in it and hanging out. I love the bubble machine, Bob. I love the cotton candy machine right in July. But if Karate Kid is still hot and it's the big summer hit of the movie, yeah, I'd be leaning into that as well. You might even give away some Karate Kids Legend posters or T-shirts or things like that. Anything I can co-brand or at least, somewhat relate the two together, which I can in this case, easy day. All right. Now we talked about doing a buddy day party for Karate Kid. That you can produce like that, just like that, all day, every day. That, I know I like talking about a 4 to 6 week window to promote, and any type of event we're doing in the school. But Karate Kid's going to come out May 30th. That thing's going to be hot, hot. And here, all the graduations and stuff are happening now, right? So I'm looking forward to June and doing some of these type of events. A Karate Kid Buddy Day party could be fun all day, every day. And then, of course, go through all the movies. What are the different things they could do? Right? Think of all the different things. I wouldn't break the ice like they did in the second Karate Kid movie, because what's going to happen is nostalgia happens. Every parent that's going to take their kid to see Karate Kids Legends will want to do what? Help me out. What are they going to do before they go see Legends? Come on. And anybody coming aboard, right? Don't sit in the background there. Say hello. Please tell me where you're tuning in from. I would appreciate you, and it would warm my little heart. Cool. So what do you think they're going to do? Well, it's really obvious. They're going to watch the original Karate Kid because they probably saw the original Karate Kid as a kid like I did, and it brings a sense of nostalgia. They might even go watch Cobra Kai, right? Binge watch Netflix, Cobra Kai, all of it. The thing I'm sharing about that, there's certain gimmicks, right? In the first Karate Kid movie, it was him doing this thing, right? At the end of the movie. In the second one was him breaking the ice. Another one was the chopsticks catching the fly, right? Remember that one? The chopsticks catching the fly. There was that gimmick. So there's all these different gimmicks throughout the movie. There was the drum one where, they rolled the drum like this and the two hands of the thing hit the drum, right? And that was the technique, right? That he did. So you can create different games on that and come up with a whole checklist of fun things you can do. You want to go a step further? Get those scenes off of YouTube because they're there. Have a big screen in your school. Play the scene and then play the game. You like that one? I love it. Right? First Karate Kid, here's what he did at the end of the movie. Let's watch it. 2 minutes. Ooh, jump kick, won the match. Great. We're all going to do this and do the jump kick 10 times. Right? On and on and on and on. On. Right? Oh, this one, he came through and broke the ice like this, right? To show that he's, Karate Kid. We're going to toss the red target and you got to hit it and knock it sideways, right? Or I'm going to take, stack up my kicking shields this high, put 4 pads on it, and they knock all 4 pads off it, simulating the breaking of the ice. There's another game. We could do this all day long, right? We can do this all day long. The thing is, if you do a buddy day and all you're doing is You want to sign up for martial arts? Want to sign up for martial arts? Want to sign up? Want to sign up? Want to sign up? Sign up? It's yucky. If I can play into the theme of Karate Kid and lean into that, then I'm co-branding together, right? And there's nothing more powerful. If you can co-brand your school with the legacy of a franchise like Karate Kid, now we know it died out for a while, right? And I think number 4 was terrible and 5 or something, and it died. It died. But when Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith did that movie, it came back. Then we had what, a couple years later, we had freaking Cobra Kai, and that's gone on. It just finally finished up after 6, 7 seasons, and now we have Legends. So it's relevant. It's relevant. And so I would really lean into that. So we have the Buddy Day party. Now, do I want to do a buddy week at my school? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Bring a friend to class. And I'd have a specific class with all the games we talked about in the Buddy Day set up to do that. Absolutely. Oh, can I do a Karate Kid movie night? Oh, you know it. All day long. I could do one of those in my school for sure. For sure. Serve pizza, start it off with some games and things like that, and then settle into the movie. Absolutely. Could I do that as a day event if I don't do day camps in my school? Heck yeah. Half day, mom. Go get your nails done, Trader Joe's, do all the things you want to do. Because I know these kids are home with you all summer long, right? We're going to do a half day with the Karate Kid movie and everything starting from 9 to 1 p.m. You with me? So, I mean, the potential is definitely there. It is there all day, every day. So, I could do a daytime buddy day party, especially during the summer. And if a mom knows she's got a break for 4 hours from the kids, it's a good day. It's a good day. It could be done from 9 to 1 before your regular classes start at 3 or 4. You with me? But again, co-branding. When I go watch the Warriors play, who got knocked out of the playoffs, but I still love them. It's called Chase Center. What does Chase Center have to do with the Warriors? Not a lot, right? But great companies, big companies vie for those positionings. And so all these different arenas have that name, right? Have that name. It's the same thing here. But it could be a huge miss if you keep focusing on ROI, 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 ROI. Okay. Next level, and I talked about at the beginning of it. Why not? Because it's so hot and it's a bigger name than yours, Karate Kid, Legends, that you come do a confidence building workshop, aka Karate Kids Legends Confidence Building Workshop. And if it's a trademark infringement, just call it, Kids Karate Confidence Building. Nobody's going to know the difference because it's got Karate Kid in it, right? It's got Karate Kid in it. It's no different than seeing some knockoff, right, of a Power Ranger doll going, that's not a Power Ranger doll. Yes, it is. It's the, Fuchsia Ranger. And it's not, but kids at face value won't know that. So again, I would be mindful to watch my trademark stuff that we don't get dinged for it. But to be honest with you, the movie company is going to love it as long as you're not generating all this money off selling, knockoff T-shirts and stuff. They'll be fine with it. I believe that because you're small potatoes, right? In the big scheme of things. So I think it's okay. I think that's okay. Maybe have a star from Karate Kid do a cameo video for your school. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good one too, right? And they have that app now. What's that app called, Marco? The one where you can have a star say happy birthday or something like that. There's an actual site for that, right? Find that site and let us know. Cameo. Thank you. Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think it's a bad thing, right? Right? I don't think it's a bad thing. Right. But I would strategically want to know what that script is going to look like. Would it be something to the effect of, have you seen Karate Kid's Legend yet? Well, make sure you do. And after that, keep it going by coming to Goals Martial Arts and signing up for a free trial class. Can you do that? I don't know. I don't know. Right. I don't know. But yeah, I think cameos, and that's a great idea, Bob. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I think, could you do a knockoff? Right? And have somebody in your school, pretending to be Jackie Chan and having another person pretending to be Ralph Macchio, then having another, kid pretending to be the star. I think what's the kid's name? Brandon something maybe. I don't remember offhand. And doing a spoof and then posting it as a TikTok reel or something. Absolutely. 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 If you want to go further than that, what it'd be like to have a kid, being chased by bullies. You shoot that with your cell phone and he runs into your school. Boom. And then he signs up for a class and you tell a story because everything is great storytelling. That's all it is. That's all it is. So I'm saying we can leverage this all summer long while the movie's coming, while it's big. So, getting into that, yeah. Could I do a social media post? Yep. Tons of them. Tons of them. Could I do a reel? Yep. Could I do any of that? I would just be mindful in that process that I'm not convoluting my brand, right? I don't want to sit there and get to the point where, every other post at my social media is a picture of this movie, right? One of the, I don't know what they call them. I think it's something to the effect of, you know, they have the movie poster, then they have all these stills from the movie to use to promote. If too much of your feed is filled up with anybody other than your kids, I don't think that's a good day. It's a bad day. Would I do a green screen of maybe, the All Valley tournament behind me and my kid in the foreground and shoot some shots that way? Sure. I would do stuff like that. But again, going to the top of this, when Scott came to me and said, "Well, how would you manage this booth?" And I said, "Well, what else is going on?" And he told me about the virtual dojo next door, right, which is from the movie company itself. I would all day long, I said, put your kids in the background, right? Forget the demo team. Put your kids in the background of any, because what if you have a big social media influencer there and they shoot and using that virtual background and your kids are all in it? That could go viral, right? You never know. You never, ever, ever, ever know with those things. Cool? You never know. And these are all ideas, I think, beyond Karate Kid's legend that you are using all the time. Oh yeah, Martin Cove is 245 for a personalized video. That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. But again, I would go deeper, right? The nostalgia of it all. A mom with a 6-year-old kid, is she necessarily going to know who Martin is? Well, if she binge watched Cobra Kai with her kids, yes. Yes, and we watched it with my wife. Well, my wife is a black belt. So I would have to measure that. Again, if I go down at a micro level, ChatGPT that thing right now, Bob, and say, is Martin Cove well known in wherever you're located? For me, in Millbrae, California. Is Martin Cove very popular with moms with 6-year-old kids? Is Martin, and go on and on. And if there's not enough data there to tell me that it's going to help my brand, then I'm not using it. You know what I mean? I'm not using it. My son has a picture with Clay Thompson. Am I going to post that at my One Martial Arts page? No way. Right. So again, I know he's from Cobra Kai, but I'm not sure 100% unless I do a deep dive if it's beneficial for you to spend that money and do that for you. It's cool for you and me, right? But again, who's my avatar? That's the big thing. Who is my avatar? And for a lot of these kids, they don't know what Karate Kid is. It's the parent reliving a nostalgic dream, dragging their kids to see Karate Kid Legends because, you know, because remember, the martial arts industry is only made up of a small percentage, right? How do I get the soccer kids that don't do karate to watch this movie? How do I do that? How do I get the baseball kids, the football kids, the basketball kids? Why would they want to go watch Karate Kids Legends? Well, look at their age group. They would have had have probably seen Cobra Kai, and they would probably maybe have seen, Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith's version of the Karate Kid, right? I don't think they're going to intend. Yeah, do the research, Bob. As I learned at Harvard, right? Everything is case study. Now, again, going back to AI, garbage in, garbage out. I'm not going to feed, my AI bot crappy information. I really want it to bore down to what I'm doing because I can be spinning my wheels too. And people do that. They'll hop on the wagon of anything trending, anything viral. They're all going to hop on it and do it, right? They will. So I want to be mindful of that. Um, Again, watching trademark infringement, you'll probably get a lot of this. We always get it this time of year. We'll get from the movie company, they'll send us a bunch of free passes. And it normally happens anytime it's a martial arts film, especially a kid's one. They think organically every martial arts school is going to go watch their film. So give them a bunch of free passes with some promo items. That's a good day too. So if you do get that opportunity, then you may want to give out the tickets in a raffle type format, for all your kids in the school. And they normally send us, 24 sets. So I kid you not, I've gotten 48 tickets to different things. So that's another way. Okay, stay with me now. It wouldn't be a bad thing. I don't know what it would cost right now, but during the pandemic, we were doing it, and sometimes people still do it all the time. You can physically rent the whole movie theater, Bob, the whole movie theater, right? And do your own personal screening. Now, it's probably most cost effective on a Tuesday at 11 a.m. And it's after 3 weeks of the movie already, or 4 weeks, and it's starting to die in sales. But it's still got legs. But what do you do with that? Right? What do you do with that? Could you make it a retention event, right? Give the tickets to all your existing students for free and write it off as a marketing cost, right? And then they have to bring a friend with them, sure. And then when you're in this movie theater, I'm going to get up there in front of everybody and say thank you for coming to, Goals Martial Arts screening of Karate Kids Legends. Martial arts is a powerful tool, blah, 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 blah. If you look right now on your seat, there is a flyer there that allows you for 2 free weeks and a t-shirt. Come on into our school, right? I think that's good too. That's good too. So an actual screening, people do it all the time because there's smaller theaters that hold a couple hundred now to the big THX ones, or whatever's going on right now. There's so many different ones, right? So the ability, especially when Karate Kid's playing in 8 theaters, out of the 9. It's like, why is it playing in so many things, right? Because it's supply and demand at that moment. Yeah, we have a theater with only 30 seats, but are they playing? So that's the big thing. You may not be able to get your hands on Karate Kid's Legends, but you might be able to get the original Karate Kid, things like that. Because again, we're just riding on the coattails of this new summer movie, and they're riding on the coattails of Cobra Kai. It's very timing at what the series Cobra Kai just ended, right? It just finally ended. And now here we are. Here we are. The movie's right there. I think it's brilliant. It's no different than when day camp ends at the end of July for us. We're already promoting day camp to the parents. Why? It's hot. It's on their mind, right? The buzz is all about it. Camp's just ending. But if I don't have a CTA where they can get a discount on next year's camps, then I'll just wait. You with me? You with me on that? So again, I want to be mindful of that. I think the renting of the movie theater one is a great one. It's just a great one. And then, of course, reaching out to the movie company and asking for any paraphernalia, right? T-shirts, headbands, whatever they've got. They're happy to give that to you. And could you raffle it off at this buddy day or bring a friend to class week? Absolutely. Absolutely. Will it have of any deep value? I don't know. But in there, would I mix giving away my Goals Martial Arts hoodies or Resilient Martial Arts stuff? You know it. All day, every day. All day, every day. You want to do something? Start a new trend, right? Right now, they're doing the ice bucket challenge again, right? Maybe do some kind of Karate Kid challenge, right? I don't know what you want it to be. Who could do the most jump kicks in 30 seconds, right? Who could do this? Who could do that? Whatever it means, right? It could be catch a fly with chopsticks. Sure. Whatever the case may be, right? Whatever is there. And maybe we could make it more fun. Put a tennis ball at the end of a string, suspend it, and have the tennis ball doing this. And you have to take these 2 really oversized comical chopsticks and catch the tennis ball because it's more reasonable, right? Than versus doing a fly with chopsticks. On and on and on. I mean, the sky's the limit. It really, really is in so many ways. As long as I'm mindful that I am co-branding at the same time. I'm leveraging my brand at the same time, right? They have one at the Warriors game where they drop these little parachutes from the rafters that go into the stands. At the end of this parachute is a Pete's coffee cup. And in that coffee cup is a certificate to get a cup of coffee. There you go, right? There you go. There you go. That's an example of, I think, good marketing, and co-branding. They don't have Warriors on the cup or anything like that, but it's Pete Coffee at a Warriors game. So we talked about booths. We've talked about buddy days. We've talked about you being the Karate Kid's legend teacher going to camps and doing a confidence building workshop, or them coming to you and you doing it at your school, right? We talked about getting movie promo material. We talked about renting the movie theater. We talked about so many different things today. I think the biggest thing I need to table, and that really allows me the freedom to create more opportunities and better experiences for kids, please table the ROI. I know every salesperson right now is probably saying, "You're full of it, Brannon. You're so wrong." Okay. Okay. We just celebrated 25 years of a legacy business in San Francisco, 10 in Millbrae, and we continue to be a profitable, relevant business because we understand change is key. We're always reinventing ourselves. And so why not go against the grain? Why not do something different? Or get a Karate Kids poster, post up a booth and stand there in front of your booth with a clipboard. You want to break a board? I need your name and email. You want a Karate Kid headband? I need your name and email. Right? You want to spin the wheel, for some Karate Kid nunchucks? I need your name and email. You could do that too. I don't think it's in line with our core values or our brand, so we choose not to do it. Now, is there a strong argument that I'm leaving money on the table? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do I think culturally it allows me the opportunity to create a trusted brand that's not simply a trend hopper, right? Because if that's the case, me and all my students should be doing the ice challenge right now. All of us, right? But again, it's not in line with our value or our brand. So the ability to leverage something like the Karate Kids Legends, and I know this is being a little deep and heavy, but I value my brand. And I want to make sure that whatever I do that I'm going to co-brand with, that it makes sense. You with me? So think about that. What is Bob sharing with us here? He just looked. What do we got, Marco? Just look, to obtain official marketing materials for Karate Kids Legend, you should contact Sony Pictures, the film studio. The official website, Karate Kid Movie, may provide contact information and for price. Good, wonderful. Why not? Why not? I got a feeling it'll come out automatically because there hasn't been a single martial arts movie that's ever came out, unless it's foreign distribution. Anything that's American made, local distribution, Sony, things like that. We get materials all the time, all the time, all the time, right? You could also do a feel-good story, do a press release, with the release of Karate Kids Legends and on the heels of Cobra Kai, right? Goals Martial Arts is nostalgically bringing back with this fun, free community event, and try to get some local press on it, right? I'm sure, depending where, that Sony is already sending out press releases to all these TV stations going, hey, and the TV station's gone, what do I do with this? Let's go interview a martial arts school, right? Get kids on camera going, yeah, I can't wait to see Karate Kids Legends. And really big right here is a resilient martial arts patch on his uniform. There you go, right? That's a whole nother one. That's a whole nother one. I know it's cumbersome and you have to pick and choose, but I truly believe the potential for it is there. Cool. All right. So I love it. I love it, Bob. Right. But that last one I think is brilliant. A press release, right? Looking for a feel-good story with the launch of Karate Kids Legends? Consider, coming out to Goals Martial Arts. You can interview our kids, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I didn't even know the movie's coming out. Hey, send a reporter out there, right? Easy day all day long. Send it out to your local community TV. You have community channels. With the launch of Karate Kids Legends, how'd you like to have, my demo team come onto your show, to help? I mean, we can do this all day long, can't we? We can. And then the more we turn over a rock, we'll find more opportunities that, number one, are capitalizing on the buzz and the popularity of this franchise, right? Karate Kid. But if I do so with the mindful integrity of my brand, and I can't reiterate that enough, I cannot reiterate that enough. Cheap marketing ploys and things like that, can actually, I think, hurt your brand. That's why I've never seen, other than Cyber Monday and Black Friday, I don't see Apple doing a 4th of July special. I don't see Apple doing a St. Patty's Day special on iPhones. Do you? No. So, again, respecting the integrity of my brand and making sure that the things I'm doing are valuable. Now, somebody challenged me on that one time. And they said, "Well, Brannon, you talk about your brand and how much you are protective of it. What's up with the damn cotton candy machine? What's that got to do with your martial arts school?" I says, "Well, it has a lot to do with my martial arts school. Because if you look at my purpose statement, it says we are one, a community, not a martial arts school, not a family, not Brannon Beliso's karate school. No, we are a community dedicated to serving you in every moment to live your best life." So I think a cotton candy at a movie park, in the park, free cotton candy, I'm living my best life. Now, parents will come up and say, "Can you make a smaller cotton candy?" Absolutely. We're all about service all day, every day. That's what we do. So, again, am I like scrutinizing it and going, "Oh, yeah, that's kind of about living your best life"? No, it absolutely is. Believe me, I had a long discussion with our people about, "Hey, man, I really want to do this. I think it's a good idea. It's hard to get the demo team everywhere. Not every kid wants to kick a damn pad, but you know what? A bubble machine and cotton candy, lots of kids come into our booth. Are we okay with this?" And everybody collectively agreed, yes, yes. So, again, if you don't have a clear brand and a clear why, then you're always second guessing the different things. And then you look for gimmick marketing and you look for trends and things like that, right? So be mindful that that's not who you are. Cool? All right. That was a good day, Marco. That was a good day. A lot of good ideas came out of that, huh? And for everybody hanging out, if you haven't said hello, say hello. And, of course, this will be at YouTube and we're going to post it. Watch this a bunch of times for everybody hanging out. I think there's not only great ideas here for the Karate Kid Legend promotional, I think there's a lot of good ideas here to consistently market your martial arts business, in a great way. In a great way. Can I double back after the fact and do one for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? Sure. Can I double back and do one for the original Karate Kid? Right now that everybody's buzzing with Cobra Kai and Legend? Sure. Man, a movie night in your school for Karate Kid would be a good day, right? Would be a good day. It simply is, no matter how you want to slice or dice that. Nostalgia is always a good thing, right? I don't know if any of the kids want to see Enter the Dragon, but I would. I would. I watch that movie anytime it's on. So, let's begin, Marco, by thanking our sponsors. Who did we have? As always, Tusaw, right? We just moved into some of their new sparring gear. I really love the chest protector. If you get a chance, go to Tusaw and look at the karate chest protector. It's so cool. Market Muscles, Steven Reinstein just launched his version of CRM, and somebody asked me what I thought about it, and I'm loyal to my studio for their CRM system. I'm loyal to Market Muscles for their website design. The rest of that conversation, I can't answer, but I will tell you, Steven Reinstein is an innovator, and no matter what he chooses to do, it's going to be brilliant. I truly believe that. My studio, of course, my good friend, too, his wife, Lynette, everybody there. We've made some real great changes, like moving to Stripe. We've made great changes with Amplify. If you're not looking at Amplify, and it is a bot, it's a machine learning bot that's going to help you cultivate good answers when people opt in. And I may be saying that wrong, but I do know it's AI generated. Bot may not be the correct word. Kids Love Life Skills. Again, I think it's super important that we realize life skills is what separates us from everybody else out there. Soccer, baseball, basketball. They will come into your martial arts school and demand that you teach those things. So to have a great life skills system in place, and we've made it extremely affordable at $99 a month. Extremely affordable. So I highly recommend you look at that. Of course, the yin to the yang, my business structure, LC accounting, there's no way I'd move without my sister. Sound business practice, sound budgeting, sound, spending is so important to the health of a business. And then Kin Creative, I never thought I would do digital marketing, to be honest with you, but the pandemic had me open my eyes to the potential. Now, I would tell everybody that it's really hard to have a big, successful school without digital marketing. If I'm a guy who works a day job, I have 1,000 foot, square foot school. I teach a couple of nights a week for myself. That's a hobby business. That's a club. I don't need digital marketing. But to scale it and do it on the level that I do, there's no way I would ever move again without digital marketing. Cool? So, where are you going to be November 8th through 11th? Right here, Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from SFO for It's Time Live Freedom. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Stay for 4 days. Please, you are your best investment. Make that investment into yourself. You deserve it. You deserve it. The link is there. Get signed up now, not later, now. The 20 spots always fill up. This is our 9th year, and we will cover things like systems, staff development, wealth building, branding, social media, personal development. We just cover the gauntlet, to really give you a skill set that's unequal to anything, and it will move the needle and help you grow your school. Our mentoring program is ongoing. Me and the team, we're doing good work where we've developed good chops. We have a clear vision. I think our brand and our message is defined. We are martial arts school learners like you. We go through the grind like you. We feel the pain and suffering when a student leaves, and we're sad like you. And we're successful at what we do. So look at our mentoring program as well. Cool. All right. So it was a good day today. I thank you for being with us as always. You can find me at all the different social media platforms. Of course, this podcast is on YouTube, right? You can find this podcast at Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon. They're everywhere. And of course, you should subscribe to my Instagram. Join our Disruptor group. That group page has a lot of valuable learning in the files. I hope you would look at it and consider. And for everything else, go to BrannonBeliso.com. Cool. Thank you to Marco for holding down the fort on the back end, making all these beautiful graphics and things pop up and happen. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life.